days. That is a big one. Good morning, welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. We are dealing with the remnants of Hurricane Helene. I think she's still going to be like a tropical depression by the time she makes it up here to southwestern Kentucky. We do have a wind advisory today, and according to that we could get gusts up to 45 miles an hour, which honestly isn't really anything to shake a stick at. Our area, we deal with wind gusts up to about 60 plus miles per hour regularly when the seasons change, and we're at that point. We're in fall time, the weather's cooling down, and no, we have not had any goats give birth yet. Today we have 100% chance of rain all day. So I've got you in weatherproof mode because I can't stay inside all day. I've got to come out and do stuff. And this is some of the ugly things that I think people don't think about when it comes to homesteading, is that it's not always sunny days and clear skies. There's still stuff to do. Good morning, my girls. Good morning. Hi, Stormy. Can I check your ligaments? I don't have a due date for Stormy. I'm just guessing based on when she was exposed to the bug. We still have hard ligaments, so no Stormy birth today. Yeah. Thank you for letting me touch it a little. You're a good girl. Okay. Today is actually Margie's due date. And I don't remember her going too far over her due dates in kiddings past. I still feel a ligament in there, and her udder definitely has some room to grow, so I don't think she's gonna kid today. And honestly, I'm not sad about it. I don't really want to be out here during yucky weather, even though it's nice and dry here in the barn. In most parts of the barn, I do have a roof leak over one of the kidding stalls. But if they could hold off for a little bit nicer weather, I wouldn't be upset about that. And it looks like they're going to. I need to top off your hay, huh? They're definitely not going to be going outside in this today. It's going to be raining all day long. We're already starting to pool water right here. I am a little bit worried about the pumpkins that are in the greenhouse. Before our last bout of rain, which honestly didn't wind up being as much rain as they predicted, I picked all the pumpkins that we had in our pumpkin patch that were mostly orange, and that was to get them curing inside the greenhouse so that they wouldn't just rot in the field. But our greenhouse, depending on how much rain we get and how dry the ground is or isn't, we can get like a river of rain going down the middle of that, and that wouldn't be good for them either. Woo! It's a hike out to the greenhouse right now. And do I have an umbrella? No. Do I need one or want one? No. Honestly, it hasn't rained in so long that this, like, it feels good. I'm so happy about this. Ants are enjoying that one. Hello. It's gonna be like this all day. I'm sorry. So it's pulling up a little bit on this end, which is quite normal. Looks like the pumpkins are still not really sitting in water, but it's only like 9 a.m. and it's gonna rain all day and all night. So we'll keep coming out and checking, because if I have to, I can pick up the pumpkins and put them in the bed. If I don't have to, I'm not gonna go through all of that, because then I'll have to take them down again, because we still have some amending to do in here. As you can see, I have amended and filled a lot of the raised beds. Today that I'm filming this is actually the 27th. It's Margie's due date, and my goal was to have this amended and planted by October 1st. Now I don't think that's gonna happen, but we are getting really close. Things are coming together really nicely in here. I've taken down all the spent tomato and tomatillo plants, and I've taken out the eggplants. We've amended this side, and I still need to amend this side. So I've just been coming through, taking off the mulch and actually transferring the mulch to the new beds that we filled. And then I've been putting either fertilizer or barn clean out on top of the soil, and then putting some more soil on top of that, and then putting some of our fall and winter plants in. I wasn't really organized with my seed starting, so I do know where my broccoli is, but I don't really know what's a cauliflower, what's a cabbage, what's a Brussels sprout. We're gonna find it out together, but I'm really happy that everything seems to be doing really well in here. These plants over here, I suspect that they're cabbages. They have really enjoyed this bed, and they've got a lot bigger since I put them in. I'm so excited. It looks like the birds have been leaving all of my plants alone, which actually is quite unusual. I'm very happy about it. We have these balls that I put in here that my Amish friend recommended that I put up, and also our Amish friends will use these little rubber snakes to keep birds away. That's a tomato, and that's funny. We'll be yanking out volunteers of tomatoes and ground cherries pretty much forever in all the garden spaces. I did run irrigation for my peppers yesterday. I probably didn't need to. The fact that we're getting all this rain means that the ground of the greenhouse really is going to soak in a lot of moisture, and they will get watered from underneath with this rain. A lot of my peppers have these weird spots on them, so I've kind of ignored most of them for now. Our peppers that I labeled as jalapeno, because that's what I thought they were, they're actually like a yellow Hungarian wax pepper, a hot one, and a lot of them have started to turn red too. Over here in these start trays, I do want to get a lot of these moved over. I think that these little seedlings are dealing with a little bit of leaf miner damage, so I need to probably address that or just start the seeds over again. But so far so good over here for the most part. But it's either leaf, okay, that is what I was gonna say. It's either leaf miners or harlequin bugs. Look at them, because we have had these guys in here a lot. They're pretty, but they're destructive. See our carrots, they've got a lot of their true leaves on them. And this is romaine lettuce. I actually just succession planted some more carrots, so that's what's in here. And again, some kind of unknown brassica with a harlequin bug. I should probably come in here with something for that, like diatomaceous earth, but so far I've just been pinching them off. So a few bugs, but really there's a lot of good things going on in here. And so far it looks like the pumpkins are all right. I did close the sides of the greenhouse. It's been a long time since I did that. And that's just to help protect our small seedlings from 45-mile-per-hour winds. I'm fine with them, you know, dealing with tolerable amounts of wind, you know, 20 miles an hour, that kind of thing. But 45, when they haven't experienced anything close to that yet, probably not a good idea. Maybe the winds were worse than I thought, because I still have them. They're just laying down, but mammoth sunflowers, they were standing. Looks like now they're not, but see, we've got several pumpkins out here still. These are Dutch fork pie pumpkins. And one of the most amazing things to me is all of the new green foliage that these pumpkins have pushed out. I mean, I've been very impressed with this variety of pumpkin to begin with, but the way that they just won't die, I love it. This particular area dealt with a lot of bug damage, and it really died back in some of the drought that we had, but we've been getting an okay amount of rain in the last little bit, and look how they've responded. It's like they held themselves in dormancy until they could push out more leaves. You can get a good illustration of that here. See this vine that's like kind of yellowing and whatever? It's got all these new leaves coming in on it. See? New cluster of leaves. Lots of pumpkins. I am going to harvest these yellow ones soon. Not before they're gonna get dumped on, but it's also kind of an experiment for me to see what they can handle. I'm assuming that they're going to rot in the field, but they might not. Quite a few out here. There's probably at least 20 more pumpkins out here, and there's 59 in the greenhouse. That is a big one. But yeah, my sunflowers fell over. And I know that they had good heads on them. Wow. So this sunflower is planted in the weed fabric and it fell over and uprooted underneath that weed fabric. Twice the size of my face, maybe? I mean, just look at that. Love to give this to my chickens. There we go. Why are you so soaked? Look. Look. Jack. I think he's in there. Jackie. Here, kitty, kitty. That cat. I wonder if he was in there when I closed it last night. Jack! There he is. He just came out. Jackie! Oh, come here. Come here. Right there's our little hay shed. And he was in there screaming, saying, "Mommy, save me." They've never seen this much rain as far as I know. He says, "Thank you for saving me." Oh, thank you for saving me. We've created this creep feeder essentially for the cats because Buster has been really enjoying the cat's food. And it's not good for him to have all that protein, from what I hear. Now, I'm not some kind of dog nutritionist, but my sister-in-law told me actually, don't let Buster have too much of that cat food because all the protein's not good for him. These are your crunchies. Yes, do you want an egg in it? There you go, buddy. Let me put this in your house. Okay. Well, I'm sure they'll get to that eventually. So they do, some of the chickens are wet, but then again, so am I, and it's because of choice. They have quite a few places to go. They've got this shelter, there's a shelter right there, and then they've got their whole coop right here, which is, this is where I just fed them, so they don't have to come out to eat. I had wondered with those sunflowers that succumbed to the wind how my archway was doing. So last year we grew loofah as well as birdhouse gourd on this archway, and the plants started over here. They started over here this year too. So all the heavy fruit was on this side, and when our west winds came one stormy afternoon, it totally bent our archway here, and we managed to kind of bend it back into place earlier in the season, knowing that this would probably happen again. What we're going to do is actually put in some longer T-posts to help hold it up straighter, and this should be better by next year. But I don't know if you're really going to be able to tell on camera. It's quite the curve. Got some loofah that are turning brown, and we've got some melons to harvest. I feel like this ground cherry came up overnight. I mean, clearly it didn't, but I've been out here and I don't remember seeing that. Yeah, they're already starting to crack. These are the Ginger's Pride melon, and while the vine looks pretty dead, the melons are still taking in moisture. Wow, they smell really good. Pop these off. This one has a little bit of bruising. For everyone wondering, the chopstick trick so far is doing its job. Rutabaga here, and we've got some beets over here. And the rain's picking back up. So maybe I should take a break. All right, so it's several hours later now, and I was gonna comment that we hadn't really gotten the winds that they promised. But it looks like they're probably here, and it also has not really let up raining, which that wasn't forecasted that it would let up at all. And I'm not surprised. What I am surprised to see is Farrell is out in it eating. I don't know if you can see him way out there, but that's Farrell in the rain. Some goats will do that. I have seen it, mostly La Manchas, believe it or not. It's like the Nigerians are a little bit more fussy, but my La Manchas, they seem to not care. So I do need to go back out there because I am starting to really get concerned about the pumpkins. I have just set up some cheese because I really needed to get some milk processed. So this is just another Colby. I'm not going to be going through that whole process here today. I have a whole video step by step on how to make the Colby cheese that we've been making a whole bunch, and I will put that in the description box. This one here is compromised on the blossom end, and there's already roly-polies on the inside of it. That happened to a lot of them. Can you see? There's like this little hole that's opened up on the bottom, and the bugs are in it. There's quite a few pumpkins that seem to be solid on their blossom end. Some of them are open, and it looks like roly-polies had been getting in there. Some of them are getting soft spots, like they're not gonna make it anyway. So our pumpkin numbers are dwindling, but that's totally fine. One of the reasons that I grew this many pumpkins is because I wanted to ensure that we get at least one. But if we had a relatively successful year, that the measure of loss that's to be expected wouldn't impact what we brought in too much. Like, I wanted to have a lot of pumpkins so that I knew I'd have enough pumpkins, you know what I mean? Clearly the spent ones can be fed to animals, and that's awesome. And the ones that are out in the pumpkin patch right now, if they happen to rot in place, that's okay. They're just going to amend the patch to make it that much more rich for a couple years from now when we plant more pumpkins. So for now, this is the situation in the greenhouse, and this is exactly why I put the raised beds in here. This kind of thing, if I had these brassicas in the ground right now, they would drown and die. They would. And so I'm really happy that we don't have the brassicas in the ground right now. Oh, nobody's home. Well, hello. It is the next day, and I don't know how much rain we've gotten so far. It's been quite a bit. I'll look at our rain gauge in a second, and I'll put the number down here. The goats are out grazing, even though it's kind of wet, so that's nice that they're doing that. Can't physically see them, so they're probably on the other side of the pond, which I want to give you guys a pond update after all that rain, because I bet you it's pretty close to full. You see all these little seedlings popping up? It doesn't look like grass to me, but I did manage to seed the parts of the pasture that my husband mowed. He mowed the broom sedge down, and we seeded some ryegrass, so that should be coming up pretty well with all of this rain. Our pregnant mamas are out here too, and they don't really look like they're gonna give birth today, so we've got some late kidders this fall, which is okay. Ooh, well, that sure looks more normal. Oh, hi. Fancy meeting you here. How goes it? Hi, Winnie. You eating all the good stuff, huh? Oh, be nice. There's plenty for everyone, I assure you. There's our pregnant mamas. Just hanging out, being pregnant. And we'll have babies eventually. As far as the pond goes, it looks totally full. I know that I just brought you guys down here and we just walked out here. Now we officially can't. Right here, this is the exact spot that I walked out before, and we looked down there and said the water's way down there. Well, it's back. This is the willow tree that the goats are eating off of, and all that grass is definitely underwater now. So Helene has filled our pond back up, which is good. We like it to be full. And I like that you guys are trekking out here even in the wetness to come eat. You guys are doing really good. So that is our Helene impact on our farm. Now, we are in southwestern Kentucky, so what we got out of the storm was really, really minimal, honestly, in the grand scheme. We're grateful for the rain, absolutely. Even though it meant a few soaked pumpkins, I think it was actually a good thing, because picking up the pumpkins off of the ground of the greenhouse helped bring to light the fact that some of them were opening up on the bottom and the bugs were getting at them, and I probably would not have realized that otherwise. I mean, eventually it would have been clear, but I found out sooner rather than later, and we can plan accordingly to like process those pumpkins earlier or plan to feed those pumpkins out to the animals. Just like I mentioned a few videos ago, we are definitely in the hurry up and wait stage of having our fall goat births, but very soon, I promise you, there will be some babies on the ground. So subscribe if you haven't already, because you're not going to want to miss it.